The thing about personal data is that it's new, and people are always wary of the new. So, and we're at a time in technology that's really exciting. So devices are enabling us to collect huge amounts of information. And so, of course, people are going to be unsure what's going to happen with that.
I think the reason we trust organisations less is there's a whole load of really high-profile news, which is good to raise the awareness and good to raise the issues, but we see the news and therefore we question what's taking place and whether our data is secure.
10 years ago, that level of technology didn't exist. So first of all, it didn't exist, then there's awareness of it. And in the awareness of it, it's exacerbated by people's deepest fears. So if you think about the things you don't know, they're typically the things you're most frightened of.
People are slowly realising how much information they've actually been releasing into the digital void, if you like, and they're now realising there's an awful lot known about me which can be quite quickly put together and get a very personal and intimate picture of what I do, what I buy, where I go, what I go and see, who I speak to, and that worries people.
A lot of the internet companies haven't behaved particularly well with our personal data. You know, they're in a situation now where they are able to collect the most intimate amount of information about ourselves. The truth of the matter is that most of us are more than happy. We've been open, we've given everything about ourselves to those companies, and if they start to abuse that trust, and that fundamentally is what it's about, I trust you to hand my personal data over to you, particularly if you're a publicly quoted company, your reputation can be lost overnight if you have a security breach. So it's a kind of number one item on an agenda, making sure that security exists around the data that's being collected.
I think we can't underestimate the impact of users. We worked with about 900 companies last year, and of those about 54% on average lost data. Many of the occasions that was through accidental leakage driven by their own internal employees. So there's a big job with raising awareness with those end users as well.
Security is a compromise, it's a balance, but it also isn't something you can fit and forget. It has to evolve. The bad guys evolve. They don't give a damn about legislation, rules and regulation, law. They'll move on. They are using the very same techniques we use to have service desks. We have support networks. They are using that same approach, believe me.
Security is your point of entry, and actually if you want to operate in this space you have to go several steps further than the legislation. Talk to Christopher Graham at in the Office of the Information Commissioner. He is the Information Commissioner. He has a very important mandate. I think it's important for us as users of data to be 2 steps ahead of it.
I think most organisations are taking it seriously, but it's not very visible to us as customers.
Understanding how my data connects to your data is fundamental to being able to communicate it simply. And the issue is you've got to be able to communicate privacy and data access in a simple way or people don't understand it.
There are lots of people collecting data. There are not a lot of people using it well. And I think that's where the disconnect comes.
Data it's our future. Everything we do is going to be recorded in some fashion. Every transaction you do, your daily work, there are logs being kept and taken every second. And we run systems where we monitor those things and we create millions and millions of logs. It's got to be inherent, it's got to be built into the service. And those that do it well and those that deliver great service and can demonstrate to their customers that they're doing a good job and that their data is really important to them and you, I think will stand head and shoulders above everybody else.